Welcome to Orange Nation TV's live coverage of Valhalla varsity football. Tonight we have a matchup between the Valhalla Norsemen and the Monte Vista Monarchs. I'm Nate Polite up inside the broadcast booth.
Let's play some football, y'all.
Looks like Valhalla will be receiving the opening kick. Evan the booth with me tonight, Mr. Owens. How's it going?
It's going great, Nate. This is we started in 2012. Didn't know that we get to stream anything this year, and here we are streaming. And thanks to you, I just want to send a big shout out to the senior MVP, Nate Polite, who streamed last week's football game on his own. No adults to help him. I was out of town running his crew, and Nate, you did a great job. You've done a lot for Valhalla and a lot for this program, so hopefully I didn't embarrass you too much, but you've done a great job, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So how'd you handicap this game, Nate? Did you do a lot of research between Monte Vista and Valhalla?
I'm going to be honest, I did not.
Okay.
But we got football. We're underway.
There we go.
On the return, that's number 2, Gavin Nagel.
Well, Nate, I can tell you it's been a while since we played Monte Vista in football. It's been since the re-leaguing back in the day when we based our leagues on wins and losses over time. And in that time, Monte Vista has really thrived in the other league. They played for CIF championships. Of course, they have a rich football history. When I first moved here in 2003, they were one of the very best programs in the county, had a lot of Division I talent.
A handoff to Bakir. Breaking a couple of tackles. That's a solid game to start things off here for the Valhalla offense. Last week was a struggle for Valhalla, just the one touchdown on the bit of a circus play. I don't know if you saw it on the highlights from the live stream, the touchdown to Marcellus Childs last week. About an 80-yard run after catching the ball off the bobble for a touchdown was the lone score for the Norsemen in last week's blowout against Granite.
And Nate, I'm going to provide way too much history between these two schools in this first quarter at least, so feel free to ignore me. That was a bobbled snap, it looks like, and had to pick it up off the carpet, and Monte Vista was strong enough to get in there. So, Nate, I was coaching football here the last year Monte Vista beat us, and that was, I'll make up a year, nobody will care, but we lost 44-0 to them, and that was the closest 44-0. They went on to play in the CIF championship. It was them and Helix were really strong, obviously, but we were very proud to have played that well. I know that sounds ridiculous, but then the next year we finally beat them and broke a long streak.
Pillsbury's going to drop back. He steps up to scramble, and with some space, he's got plenty of room for the first down, and he gets across the 50-yard line.
So what do you see the difference here between this week and last week, Nate?
Well, it's looking like a lot more confidence first and foremost. You know, the plays they're calling are working a lot better against Monte Vista than they did last week.
And it's not like Monte Vista's a tiny team. They have some pretty big D linemen up there up front. We'll talk about them a little bit. But they don't have a lot of depth, and that's just my eyeballs telling me that, Nate. They don't have 100 kids on the sideline, so maybe that gives Valhalla a little bit of an advantage.
Pillsbury's going to throw. Pass is complete to Marcellus Childs for a short gain there.
There's a nice tackle there by number 2 for Monte Vista. Unfortunately, I don't have him on the roster I printed off today, so he will be nameless at this point. The other thing, Nate, is Pillsbury is, in his third year starting for? Yeah, and that's a huge thing. Now, this is a weird year. Obviously, there's going to be whole books written about how weird this year is, but for them to be ready to play in such short notice is pretty fantastic just to be having a football game here.
They hand off once again to Bakir once more, and another nice gain.
And that was Brandon Deasy on the tackle for Monte Vista, and I would say he got tackled a little bit too as Valhalla kind of attacked him. It was a nice solid run for Valhalla.
I've seen on the couple of carries here for Bakir. He's running very aggressively.
Yeah.
He's running at these defenders. He's not afraid of making a little bit of contact here.
So it's 3rd and short here, and I'd like to see him get under center and just go for it that way, but they're going to be in the pistol, and we've already had a bobbled snap this quarter for Valhalla, so hopefully that doesn't come back to play. And there was a bobbled handoff, but he'll have the first down, Nate.
He ran like a bulldog out there. That's some impressive running that he's doing.
So that always scares me a little bit, the old boring football coach in me on 3rd and 1, but it worked. So first down for Valhalla. So we have 2 cameras running tonight. There's a nice close-up of that, and we'll switch over to the wide shot.
Pillsbury dropping back again with good protection. He's going to float it down the field, and it's dropped right in the bucket, but incomplete, broken up on the play. And 21, Deron Whitley.
Yeah, I would say Whitley did a heck of a job there. He knew he was beat, but if you notice, he stayed with the play, and as the ball came down, he did a valiant effort to not make that easy to catch. So sometimes getting beat is one way, but recovering and making a good play defensively is a solid move for Whitley.
And that was also a great throw from Pillsbury. Dropped it right in the bucket. Nagelus couldn't hang on. Second and long, and they're on a handoff once again to Bakir, and that time bottled up for just a short gain, so it'll make it 3rd and long.
Yeah, and I tell you, we look at that little battle between the O-line and defensive line. 78 there, Jesse Schrader listed at 6'3", 300 pounds for Monte Vista. And if you look at their defensive setup, they're not plugging a lot with backers there, but they're getting a lot right there anyway with their defensive line. So nice job. And you probably will see 76 right in the middle of your screen. Just lining up on the top side of the ball on your home screen. And he's a big man there at 300 pounds.
On 3rd and long, they line up from the shotgun. And they get a man to jump.
Hey, you can tighten your shot, Eric, so we don't want any track. Just tighten it a little bit and I'll tell you what it looks like. Keep going.
It'll be 3rd and 5.
That's good, Garrett. Good job, bud.
From the gun, Pillsbury. Throwing on a quick slant, and it's complete over the middle. Enough for a first down. That's to number 6, Damon Slater.
And Whitley again on the tackle for Monte Vista. He's having to stay pretty active out there. You know, it's good. This is a nice, long, sustained drive. Again, I didn't watch every minute of the game last week, but this has got to feel pretty good for Coach Caston and company.
Chains move, they get inside the red zone here. First down, they hand it back to Bakir. They send some good tackling by the Monte Vista defense to stop him for a minimal gain and even a loss of 1 there.
Yeah, and leading the charge was Vincent Padilla, and he's listed at 5'8", 230 pounds. And again, as somebody who played a little bit of offensive line, you'd say, well, he's only 5'8", 230. The problem is he's probably playing underneath your pads, and the goal and on the line is to be low. And I have a good feeling that number 64 Padilla is pretty tough to move in that stature, and so he got in underneath and made a nice play. So get another 5 yards there, Nate. That's
get him to jump. I mean, we saw it a couple times in the JV game with Monte Vista getting Valhalla to jump, and here the tides have turned a little bit. As Valhalla's gotten Monte Vista to jump twice on this drive alone.
Again, too, we got another flag. This one, Nate, could be, I don't know what that's going to be. It's going to be interesting. He threw it right by the Valhalla sideline. I don't know if we had an illegal substitution in that situation. That's a thing. We'll find out. Another little fun fact is Monte Vista's uniforms are pretty much unchanged in like a very long time. That does go against Valhalla. So it's interesting, watching this team over the years, and they had some real greats, Nate. They really did. As good as Helix is now. And but anyway, same uniforms. Different players, but same uniforms. All right, so that was against Valhalla, but it'll be 2nd down and 6. Start to steal your thunder, Nate. I'm trying to make that transition to color commentary rather than just play-by-play.
Put a man in motion. That's Nagel. They're going to run a read option with Pillsbury up the middle. And he gets a solid gain.
That was a great effort on his part. He found that little gap. You don't need a lot. There's a big, once you get past that D line, the way they're setting up, there's a lot of room. And Pillsbury looked pretty sprite getting through there. And looks like he's up to about the, what do they list at, the 6-yard line, I believe?
6-yard line, it looks like. Move the chains, got a 1st and goal going here.
5:35 to go in the opening quarter, and this is the opening drive. A great drive for time possession. Very nicely done so far for Valhalla.
Once again, they put Nagel in motion to the right side. Now Pillsbury's going to drop back under pressure, rolling to the left, and he's going to be sacked.
And that is a nice job by Gabriel Gordillo. The senior linebacker, listed at 5'7", 155, and even though Valhalla was putting a man in motion, they did send a guy with him, but there was no other adjustment. They got right through that. Must have been shooting a gap possibly, and they made it clean through. They lost 5 yards on that, and obviously points are at a premium. You want to get points.
Time out there to avoid the delay of game.
I can tell you, too, when you've been struggling, again, weird year. Last week, not necessarily the most positive night out at the park. All points matter, and getting them early and a great drive. Anything less than a touchdown here is a huge momentum suck, and it could switch it back over to Monte Vista. And we know what Monte Vista will want to do with the ball, and that is run. And and so, you look at this, Valhalla's eating up a ton of clock. There's only 4 minutes and 30 seconds in this quarter remaining. It's the first drive. This is going to be a very fast game to begin with. And then you got to score every time you can get the chance. I know wouldn't everybody want to do that, but let's see what Valhalla can do here. 2nd and 15.
You got to capitalize. Got to capitalize on these opportunities getting down in the red zone. 2nd and 15 after the sack.
Watch Marcellus Childs on the bottom of your screen, the tallest receiver for Valhalla, and they go with the draw, and that didn't.
To Bakir, and another loss, so it'll be a very long 3rd and goal.
And they're starting to bring a little more heat there in the middle. Monte Vista's toughened up quite a bit. But back to what I was saying with Marcellus Childs out there, he's about 6'3", 6'4", wide receiver. Again, you have to get him the ball, but 3rd and 20, you might be looking, obviously you want to get a big chunk back and then make a decision on 4th down. But you want to get something in case you kick the field goal. And I didn't see their kicking game last week. Nate, how did that look?
It was pretty good last week in the kicking game as Pillsbury throws it deep to the end zone for Childs, and it's just overthrown out of the reach of Marcellus Childs.
It's a little battle there for Childs. He tried to get away. I think he was maybe trying to play like he was getting held a little bit. He's got about a 2 or 3 inch height advantage on the young man that was covering him. But again, just wasn't able to pull it in. So it looks like they're going to be kicking the field goal here. And it's going to be, I'm really bad at math, but it's about a 35-yard kick for Valhalla.
Snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is up.
It's wide left,
and just wide to the left, so we'll.
Okay, so what do you take from that? Well, you got to feel good that you moved the ball.
Good drive moving the ball, but what we talked about, missed on capitalizing on those points.
Yep.
That's 7. That's at least 3, probably 7 off the board that you could have definitely had right there.
Now, we did talk about Monte Vista. They have a lot of two-way players. Valhalla does too, but I would say Monte Vista has a lot more. As I look, some of those D linemen are now O linemen. We'll see what they try to come out and do here. Now, so power I formation there for Monte Vista, and that's what they do.
Big hole up the middle. And there he goes. 17 Lamonte Jenkins is going to go all the way for the touchdown.
So let's talk about that a little bit, Nate. You've grown up entirely in the era of spread formation football. What you just saw there is a lot of 1980s, a lot of 1990s. That was a power I. You had a traditional fullback, tailback, and then you had an offset back. There was nothing fancy what they did. They probably pulled a guard. I didn't see, maybe even trapped a guy. But all that was is just running at one spot. And you saw Jenkins, a good runner. You could see he was running out of gas. I don't think he expected to have to run 75 yards there. But that's pretty terrifying, going forward, because that's a tough thing to stop if you can do it well. And this is what they do. You just saw Monte Vista football encapsulated right there in what their strategy is, and it works very well.
Extra point try is good, so that'll make it 7-0 in favor of Monte Vista.
So, Nate, I'm going to let you update that score real quick. All right. So we'll see if Valhalla needs to answer. I've always been accused of saying the most obvious things in the world, and that's pretty darn obvious. But that's a big gut punch. You come down, put about a 10, 12 play drive in, don't get any points. Then that happens.
Nagel gets the return. And he's got himself a nice one out to about the 38, 39-yard line.
That was Matthew Alias, the punter, that came down on that tackle and tried to battle him out of bounds. Nagel.
The Valhalla offense comes out, and looks like they're bringing Tommy Logan out for quarterback this drive, which we've seen the past 2 seasons is a lot of flip-flopping at the quarterback position for the Valhalla offense.
Now, I got to tell you, I call Tommy, Touchdown Tommy, when he was in ASB last year, because I got to see him throw a touchdown last year, and that was pretty confusing.
A lot of confusion.
Looked like there's some confusion there even on the handoff, but it did get positive yards for Valhalla.
There's Deshaun Pate on the run right there. But, we've seen this with Valhalla's offense the past couple seasons, kind of platooning back and forth with Tommy and Luke at quarterback.
So 2:50 remaining here in the first quarter. Second drive for Valhalla. If you're just joining us, they drove down the field, could not get in, and Monte Vista one play answered.
From the gun, Logan throws, and it's incomplete right through the hands of Marcellus Childs.
Interestingly enough, Nate, they were running kind of a rub route there with Deshaun Pate coming through and then Childs coming through, and basically Valhalla ended up getting just caught up in their own mess there. So unfortunately that didn't work out. It was a great call. Probably something they'll probably go back to, I'm guessing. Third down.
3rd and 5, and Tommy Logan takes the snap, and he's going to throw it deep down the field, just past the reach of Marcellus Childs.
So that brings up 4th down, and they're going to punt. So with 2:35 opening quarter, I'm going to say some more positive things. Orange Nation TV, like I said, we've been streaming since 2012. No other high school, Southern California, has been doing that. It's a credit to the students that come through Valhalla that want to do this. Very proud of what we're doing. We're running with 2 HD cameras tonight, one of them wireless. We could do more, but we're limited with our crew and where we can be due to COVID. We're just happy to be able to be bringing you this coverage here tonight. Valhalla in punt formation.
And looks like they're going to call the punter down. Maybe he punted it at.
Did he have to scoop that ball up off the ground? I was too busy looking to switch cameras for us.
It did look like he had taken a knee as he was getting ready to scoop that ball up off the ground and kick it away.
Nate, I'm going to tell you, as a former coach, that is probably about one of the worst. You feel bad for the kid, but as a coach, that is one of the worst things that could ever imagine. And as you know, in high school, the ball's dead. Knee down, ball dead, and there's no getting up and trying to make a play out of it. So very difficult turn of events for Valhalla. And now you're looking at Monte Vista, and again, I would bet you all the money in the world what play this is going to be. It's not going to be a pass. They ran off left last time. We'll see if they go right, maybe back to the left. We have Garrett Francisco on the primary camera. He's a freshman. This is his first game he's ever live streamed, and he's doing a fantastic job there getting that shot. And our secondary camera right here is we have senior Jameel Armstrong. And you want to talk about your brother, also a freshman?
Well, he's a sophomore, actually. He's the one
sorry.
that Jenkins gets spotted up there at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, we got my little brother out there also on the camera down close to the field. That's Henry Polite. He's doing a fantastic job. He also did a fantastic job on camera, too, last Saturday evening, the game against Granite.
You see a great shot of just the size of Monte Vista's offensive line. They're a very wide bunch. All about, we have one at 6'3", as we said, but mostly right about that 6-foot mark. And definitely going to cause some problems for Valhalla, but much better job there. They held him to 3 yards on that carry. Do you see how tight that fullback is? We'll talk about that here in a second.
Handoff there to number 10, Aiden Roby.
So a couple good things happened there. First of all, they strung out that play. So now you're forcing that back to go outside. And that was Tommy, that's them, or us. That's Aiden Roby on the carry. But when you're going to see Nate in this formation, that fullback is literally just a yard or two behind the quarterback, and there's a reason. If I'm playing linebacker, I can't see him. So a lot of this offense runs right through that fullback. So if I can't see him, you're going to see that fullback at some point just come running out of nowhere because you can't see him through that line. So you get a good shot of that fullback at home.
The handoff right back to Roby. Definitely enough for a first down there, and they'll move the chains.
And the other thing you're seeing with that tailback, he is about 8 or 9, almost 10 yards back by the line of scrimmage, allowing him to get a tremendous amount of speed going, and he can see that hole. So it's different. And then the other thing I would just say is if you're on scout team, this is a hard thing to duplicate because you've been running a spread formation. Everybody does that. And then now you're supposed to be playing this, kind of gut puncher offense, and you're supposed to be simulating that in practice. It's really hard to do.
On 1st and 10. Go right back to Roby, and he's tripped at the line. Falls forward for a gain of 3 or 4.
We are going to have an injured player, too, one of the offensive linemen, and we'll cut away from that. That's Aaron Bustos, who also plays on the D-line, 6 foot, 185 pounds. Again, we talked about depth, Nate. He plays both ways, and, he looks like he's up under his own power, and they'll pull him off, and now he's going to be limping pretty good. So, again, nobody can stand to lose too many players, but that could be especially hard for Monte Vista. So 56 seconds opening quarter here. It's the second drive for Monte Vista. And you can see last week it looked on the stream, Nate, from my vantage point in Iowa, in the snow, that there was a decent crowd here last week from Granite, especially.
We did have a pretty decent crowd here last night, showing up right just about to the max of the COVID restrictions that they could. It was good to see fans back at the stadium. 2nd down and 6. Hand it off to Roby again, and
we had really good penetration there, and I didn't catch the Valhalla player, and I feel bad. He did get through, and he made that play. And Roby's a really hard runner, so you're not just going to throw him down. So did a good job. It'll bring up 3rd down. Again, I don't think in this down and distance situation, Monte Vista is going to get very cute. They're got 20 seconds left. They'll probably try to see what they can get from this and then use the quarter break to figure out what their 4th down move will be. They're happy to get 3 yards because if they get 3 yards here, they'll get 3 the next down, and they have a 1st down on 4th.
There you go. They're actually going to pitch out to Roby this time. And he gets stonewalled right around the marker. We'll see where they spot him.
All right, that's the end of the quarter, and your words are so profound tonight that they're being stolen by the PA announcer.
So it'll be 4th and inches.
Do you have any family back in Tennessee watching the stream tonight? You could jump on and talk to them.
No.
Okay, well, you should. We're talking to Michelle Doty, who, a new Norseman, works at Valhalla. It's doing PA announcing, athletic secretary, coach. She does everything. We should put her on the mic a little bit later and let her talk about her program. Now, we should be getting you a 2nd shot, but this is what our other guys, they might be checking their phone right now. And one thing to understand at home, if you've never watched Orange Nation TV, this is basically a class in progress right now. There's some teaching going on and a lot of learning. Again, out of the 3 or 4 camera guys we have tonight, 2 of them have 0 streaming experience, and the other one only streamed 1 game. So if you hear me yell, get off your phone, that's just me being a teacher. So anyway, there's a nice shot there. Beautiful evening, absolutely beautiful weather, as you might imagine here.
A little bit on the chilly side, though.
Oh, come on now. I was just back home where it snowed, and it was in the 30s. So this is nothing. I'm wearing shorts and flip-flops, so. Nate.
4th and short. And they hand it right to the fullback, and he's going to go in for the touchdown.
And, Nate, I don't want to sound real smart, but I sometimes am right. That's all set up because nobody knew he had the ball.
That's Victor Meza for Monte Vista, and he's in.
Too bad we didn't have an extra set here. We could do our replays that we do, but I'm not quick enough to do that, quite frankly. But if you want to change the score. And I've been leaving the overlay off on the secondary camera just to give more space.
And so the Monarchs up 2 scores early here. And if you're the Norsemen, you really got to get in the end zone on this drive. And you cannot let this one get out of hand early.
But, Nate, in your expert opinion, you've seen some improvement, though, from week 1 to week 2. 6 days. Valhalla's playing, doing some good things.
Definitely. They look a lot, especially on the offensive side. You had that drive at the start of the first quarter they couldn't capitalize on. But that was a lot better than what we saw last week, using both the run and the pass very well.
Now, if you've watched Valhalla sports for a long time, you know last week played our rival, Granite. And because of re-leaguing and COVID, it's going to be a very unique schedule this year, and I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Kick goes deep. On the return, looked like Damon Slater on the run back.
And you get a late flag in, too.
Sorry, that was not Damon Slater. That was A.J. Cornthwaite on the return.
And I'm not sure exactly what that flag came in late. Now, it could be on Monte Vista, I believe. Actually, no, it'll be probably a hold on Valhalla. I thought the way it was thrown in originally, maybe it was something on the tackle, but looks like it'll be against Valhalla. Okay, so holding, two holding calls. They take the one that's furthest back, of course. That's most fortuitous for Monte Vista. So Valhalla is now going to start pretty deep in their own territory, which is not ideal.
Looks like they bring Pillsbury back out to play quarterback here as they continue to platoon Tommy Logan and Luke Pillsbury each drive. There's some movement, and we'll see if I saw both the offensive guard and defensive tackle move in there. We'll see who moved first.
Now, if this is on Monte Vista, this would be about the fourth time that they've jumped off sides. That's probably been the most statistically successful thing Valhalla's done in drawing them off. And it does appear to be against Monte Vista as they march off those 5 yards. So good way to get some 5 of those yards back from the penalty.
Getting those penalties to try to work closer to canceling each other out. So it'll be 1st and 5.
Now, a lot of things can happen when you're jumping off. It could be the count, but it could be some drawing off by the offensive line. Sometimes the center can move the ball just slightly, and that can throw off. And if the officials don't see that, then they don't see it.
Nice option out to Hears, and he bobbles the ball and gets lit up in the backfield.
A lot of bad things happen on that. The good news is they didn't turn it over. But, Nate, if you can imagine trying to get your fingers on a football and hoping you can get your fingers on the football while 3 defenders are ready just to smack you. And good job for him not fumbling that ball.
Well, I tell you, that's why I'm in the booth. I don't like trying to catch a football. I got 3 guys twice my size running at me.
There's a big part of you that would just be like, I'm going to let this ball go. But it would have been a fumble, so good job.
Fortunately, I don't have to make those decisions. I just have to talk about the people making them.
So, Nate, tell me a little bit about cross country this year. How are you guys doing?
Well, the season finished last Friday, a week ago, actually. We did all right. If I remember correctly, I believe that the varsity boys team ended up going 3-2 or maybe 2-3. That's a handoff. A lot of room for Hussein Bakir across the 35-yard line.
Now, this is the most successful play from scrimmage for Valhalla since about midway through the first quarter and back on the ground. At some point, though, they're going to have to complete a pass or Monte Vista is just going to stay in those running lanes there and not allow them to get anything. So got to get some passes going here. And they have a lot of quick hitches, a lot of different things that you'll see in a spread offense. And we know they have 2 quarterbacks, Valhalla does, that can throw those balls. Now they just got to get somebody to catch them.
Nagel motioned across the field again. And they run a quarterback draw here. A nice stiff arm out about the 40. And he gets across the 50. They'll move the sticks once more. And one thing I'm seeing more this season than I think I saw last season is Luke running out of the backfield, both scrambling and designed runs, and he is doing it very, very well. He's made a couple of plays that have really just blew me away. He had that one last week where he ran about 30 yards and I think collected a total of 10 ankles, 5 pairs from the opposing defense, and ran a guy over, too, for good measure. He's having a great season running out of the backfield. He has to.
He's not terribly tall, but he's pretty lanky in that sense and how he runs up straight up. But that was very feisty stiff arm, as you pointed out, and he really kept that play going just on tenacity alone.
And the handoff once again, that's Hussein Bakir. He's across the 40-yard line. Once again, running angry as he's at another first down. Those chains are moving.
And the other thing, too, Nate, we had an injury on that offensive line and a person that plays on the defensive line for Monte Vista. And you know, they're doing some swapping, as you can see there, but it's good to get a guy a breather. But when you have to run off the field to get a breather and then run back on, and you're 300 and some pounds, you know, I don't know how much of a breather they're getting, but maybe Valhalla's found a weakness there, and Monte Vista are a little tired. Again, you're not going to be as conditioned as you would be in a regular fall season by week 2.
Pillsbury's going to drop back, throws, and it's broken up.
That was very dangerous there, Nate, as you can see, and I think everybody at home could see that was a pretty scary moment there in terms of turning the ball over, and that could have been 6 the other way.
Definitely could have been.
So they're trying to keep that pass going, and they have to do it, or, again, your running is going to dry up. They have to have that threat, but, again, maybe a screen or something just to see if you can get something completed that's positive through the air.
Is second down. Then they go once again in motion. And they're on the handoff to Bakir, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage.
Big shout out to Steve and Tanya Bulette, who are watching tonight's game from the North Shore on Oahu in Hawaii. And I'm sure it's just miserable there in Hawaii, so they're watching this game from all the way over there. So enjoy your time, Bulettes. You deserve trips. And not as exotic as going to Iowa, so I know you're a little jealous, but enjoy.
Back with pressure. He's going to unload down the field and short, and it's intercepted. At the 1 yard line, that was Brandon DC.
So a couple of things there. As he got laid out, that took a lot of thunder off that ball, and it died. He had a receiver beat, and he just didn't have enough gas on the ball, partly because of the defense. But if you're Monte Vista, it's good that he picked it off, but it would have brought up 4th down. I'd like to roll the dice maybe with the punt. Now you're working on the 1 yard line. Again, you have the offense to get out of this hole, but it's kind of one of those things that's a great interception, good stat line, but they're now backs against the wall. And I'd like to see Valhalla really maybe just try to split those gaps with some backers and just see what you can do and get a little pressure. Maybe they'll fumble the ball here or something.
We saw in the JV game there was a safety in a very similar situation that Valhalla benefited from.
So they're going to be tight in there as usual. Just one wide out from Monte Vista. They have everybody tucked in under center.
They gave a few there. Really good work by the Monte Vista offensive line as well. Get as much space as possible for their running backs to get through there.
Well,
trying to win the game in the trenches, because that's where games are won.
Tanya Bulette informs me it's 75 degrees right now on Oahu, and it's only 4:30 there. Fun little fact that nobody cares about. My sister has quarantined or has spent all of COVID in Hawaii. She went there last February, right before the travel restrictions occurred, and she decided to stay there, and she's been there for over a year. And it makes me really mad to Zoom with her when her backyard's the ocean.
He'll hand off again. Now he's going to get around the outside, and it's going to be a foot race all the way up the line.
Okay.
Tackled down. That was the quarterback.
So I don't know Sal Patoa very well or at all for Valhalla, but we're sitting by a track coach. I would find that kid, number 4 for Valhalla, who just ran that kid down. That Sal Patoa, I believe. That was a heck of an effort there. That was a I don't know. That's some wheels right there. You got to point out some positive things. 7.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Again, too, what you see there, you bunch them in. Ball starts thinking that. You show one way, and then you kick it outside, and that's where that big gap was.
Go handoff again. That's 21 to Ron Whitley.
You're way too young, but there was a guy by the name of Barry Sanders back in the day, and he would run to the line, then run backwards, and it was like a video game. And I can tell you what, Darren Whitley for Monte Vista is a very talented running back, but when the hole's not there, try to get what you can. Don't try to back. Yeah, Valhalla made him pay, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
Definitely. Go handoff again. That's aiding Roby.
Again, Nate, I think you're going to be happy when I leave to go check on my kids, but in that last shot, we had a nice close-up of the Monte Vista quarterback underneath center. A lot of high school quarterbacks don't even go under center. They don't even know the experience. And he's so low. Everything is so low. And if you're on defense and you're used to looking at a quarterback in the shotgun, and now you're looking at, you don't even know where the ball is most of the time, it's just extremely hard. And we'll get you another look at how low he is. And there's that fullback. They'll go the pitch here.
And off to Roby once more.
And we're gonna get a flag off the play, and we got some extracurricular activity there between both sides pretty evenly. I'll tell you what, I don't know if Steel Canyon is playing tonight, but my good friend who I broadcast and coach with for a number of years, Ron Hutchinson, he would love watching Monte Vista's offense. He was a wing T guy, but he would love this type of offense. And Hutch, if for some weird reason you're having to watch, I'm sure you're enjoying this.
They're like, she's fired. Ask him.
All right, so that flag looks like, Nate, interestingly enough, is going against Monte Vista. And Valhalla had a fair share of that. But they saw the right way, I guess.
We had one of these type downs in the JV game, one that I like to call third down and longer than I can count.
One of the things I'm going to suggest, Nate, is you go up on the booth at halftime and make sure there's no accidental filter on our primary camera, because it's awfully dark, it looks like.
See what they go with here. So they are going to run a pass play. Mika throws it down the field and off the hands.
So, Nate, I hate to point out, that was 3rd and 27, and there's just not a lot of plays.
So I can count to 26. I can't get to 27. I'm not there yet.
And the bad thing is he almost completed that pass. That was honestly more of a drop than it was anything else. So I'm a Packer fan, and I got to watch him in the NFC Championship. 4 seconds to go in the half. Everybody knew what was going to happen.
I recognize that play.
Yeah, and that was almost the same exact play, and it made me just almost as scared as that one did. So 5.5 minutes, Val's going to get the ball back. Great stand, because they gave up the big play, Nate. They very easily could have just cashed it in.
Said it'll be a punt.
Oh.
And it looked like it got tipped.
And that
it's going to fly out into lane 1 of the track.
Nate, that didn't get tipped, but there was so much pressure. I think that punter felt so much pressure to get rid of it. And I'm not so certain that punt's going to be anything over 4 yards. I don't know where the original line of scrimmage was, but that ball went out of bounds about 2 seconds after it touched his foot. So they're going to have the ball at the 45-yard line. What was the original line of scrimmage? Do you remember?
I believe it was the 50.
Okay, so 5-yard punt.
Yeah.
And there was no tip. I watched it. It was just all uncomfortable special teams moments.
As about as low as he could have kicked without it getting tipped.
Yeah, I think Valhalla was actually shocked that they were through and didn't know exactly what to do.
Tommy Logan in at quarterback this drive for Valhalla, and the handoff right there bottled up.
The one thing, Nate, I would love to add to our streams, but we'd have to find some more kids and they'd have to know what they were looking at, is we have no stats. And I would think that Valhalla's maybe completed one of about 10 passes tonight. Yeah, Michelle, sorry.
And now Tommy Logan's going to run with it, and he's got himself some room before sliding down.
Be interesting where they spotted. I think they gave him – he started sliding before the first down, but I think they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and that's a good thing for Valhalla.
And that they will move in the chains. And Tommy's sliding down before contact, not something that you see a lot of in high school
Yeah.
football. So good to see that he's taking care of his body and the ball as well.
Yeah. Again, if Valhalla can complete a pass and get that aspect of their game going, this is going to be a really interesting second half. You know, they're down 14-0, and they could be down more. And they could, honestly, they could have scored that first drive. So this game is still
Logan's going to drop back again, keeping
very
his
much
eyes
in question.
downfield as he rolls to the right. And he gets taken down after maybe a gain of 1. Right there. I'm a big fan of keeping your eyes downfield as the quarterback. But when nothing's open down the field and you've got a running lane right there, you got to take that lane.
Well, it's interesting. Monte Vista has been pretty much, I think, exclusively in man coverage tonight, and they're playing off. So you could get some little dips and dunks underneath. I think they're athletic enough, though, that they can give Valhalla receivers a few yards of grace and be able to close on them. But they don't want to get beat deep. You can see the way they're playing. So, but when they're playing deep enough, you try to do crosses and things like that are going to be a little difficult because they're not playing up enough to do some of those things.
Hand it off to Bakir again.
Another observation, Nate, is our snaps have not been consistent tonight, and I don't know if that means that quarterback switching is an issue, but the center has been low, and it just when you're trying to get a mesh and you're trying to get a rhythm with the fake or the play action or any of those things, and it's thrown off with the snap, it's just hard to recover. It gives the defense an extra step. So that's something too that I don't know what the cause of that is.
To the drop here on 3rd and long. 3 receivers left side, bottom of your screen. Low snap. Now with a lot of pressure, he's tripped up. And they say he was down before the ball came out there.
That was Gabriel Gordillo off the edge, and he was coming, and he got past his guy. But again, having to pick that ball up off the ground almost, it changes the whole everything about that play, and that's a real concern. You had a great thing going here. Now you're going to give them the ball back with 2 minutes, and I believe Monte Vista might have all their timeouts. So yes, they have all their timeouts. And that's less than ideal. Now we know they don't run a big passing offense, but they can score in 1 or 2 plays with that running game. And that's a punt that is not going to get a whole lot either. Maybe a 7-yard punt there. So we've seen a 5-yard punt and a 7-yard punt. I've been around for a while. I haven't seen that a lot back-to-back. So Monte Vista is going to get the ball in very
Plus
capable
territory.
opportunity.
Not quite plus territory,
Yeah.
almost plus territory.
Now, I don't expect them to do anything different, Nate. I don't think they're going to come out and throw the ball. They could, but I really don't think they will. Nice plug there for the cheerleading squad. They're out here, and, it's their season too, and it's neat that they're able to be a part of this abbreviated season.
And off to Monte Jenkins.
We're going to get a block, I think, downfield on Monte Vista. So this is going to come back about 10 yards from the spot of the foul. And a hold, I'm pretty sure, is the early indication. Now, if you think you can hear that official at home and you think you're hearing voices, you can actually kind of hear him. He's into our PA system. That's the first time that I've been here when that's happened. I feel like we're in the big leagues now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like we're in the show, Nate.
Yeah. Love to see it.
Yeah, you also have your first female PA announcer.
Exactly. And Michelle Doty points out we have our first female PA announcer and our first female PA announcer from the state of Tennessee.
Going to roll out on a little bootleg pass, and he overthrows his man.
And that ball was well off the mark, but thanks to Randall Shimon on that pressure, really Jason Mija from Monte Vista, the quarterback, he had no option there. He just had to unload that.
Had to let that ball fly, and unfortunately let it fly a little too much mustard on that one.
So Valhalla will be on the road for the next 3 games, and then they'll be back for the home finale against El Capitan. Of course, we'll be streaming as many games as we can. We're not sure about the road games or not.
Monte Jenkins one more time.
There's even a rumor, and I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but we might even, depending on what we're allowed crowd-wise, we might even try to make that a little bit of a homecoming game against El Cap. Again, don't hold me to that. That will be a timeout for Monte Vista with 1:26 to go.
Looking at what they can run here on 3rd and long. Try to get those yards back.
So 3rd and 17, Nate, and I think the crowd and maybe somebody's dad is yelling, watch the pass. I think it's probably pretty obvious, but this is not Monte Vista's strength, so I would be not terribly concerned. You could play a little loose here. They got to get 17 yards for a first down, but also would not be entirely shocked if they ran a draw or something and tried to go 2 plays here. Since Valhalla has been kind of lethargic on offensive of late.
They do actually go on a pass, almost getting the sack right there as Mika lobs it out of bounds, incomplete.
Valhalla's done a really nice job. They know he wants to roll out if he's going to throw it all, and they've had a guy there to disrupt that, and so I think Monte Vista missed an opportunity there to try to put a little icing on the cake here before half, but good job for Valhalla. They definitely a can-do attitude, and again, only down 2 touchdowns, Nate.
Only
and,
two
and,
scores.
and they've done some things tonight that would make you think they'd be down 3 or 4 by this time, and they're very much in this game, and I really think the potential for Valhalla to get some offense going is going to happen.
Here's the punt.
Much
This
better
one
punt.
Much better than last time.
Okay. So one of the things that you learn, and young players and young Valhalla players learning right now, is get away from that ball.
Get away from
and
that ball.
Unfortunately, he wasn't, and that can also cause a heart attack pretty easily from a coach. So that's a learning moment right there. He learned to get away from the ball. I bet he never does that again. So 107, Nate. See what Valhalla can do.
You talk about getting away from the ball. We saw it in the JV game about 2 hours ago, probably by now. There was a punt, and it bounced off one of the blockers' legs for Valhalla, and ended up with Monte Vista possession in the JV game. Fortunately, different ending here. Pillsbury back at quarterback gets the low snap. Now he's going to have to make something happen with his legs as he rolls out. He's got Marcellus Childs wide open, and he dropped it. Had potential for a big play there. Another nice throw from Pillsbury, just dropped right on the hands.
A lot of factors in that drop. You know, you're looking back against the lights. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses, but that's a tough drop for Valhalla. That would have been a very nice play.
Another great job of Luke Pillsbury making something happen on his feet, evading the pass rush to get that ball off right there. Just about a minute to play here in the first half. Another low snap, and Pillsbury dropping back, having to once again run to evade pressure, and this time nowhere to go.
That's
Lamonte
you might
Jenkins.
Yeah, not only can he run the ball, and he's got about 80, 90 yards and a touchdown tonight, but man, he doubled up there on the poor quarterback. That was a solid hit, Nate. And if you talk about Lamonte Jenkins, he's listed at 6'1", 215 pounds.
That's a big guy.
You know what? That's a D1 size kind of guy for a lot of different positions. It'd be interesting to know a little bit about what his hopes are. But he's a good-looking athlete out there, and that was a very nice play.
3rd and 15, clock running. And he's going to hand it off to Bakir. He shakes one tackler. He's actually got a little bit of room getting it across the 40-yard line.
So Monte Vista's smart. They take this time out here. It's 10 seconds. You're not a passing team. But what happened the last time Valhalla punted?
Exactly.
So what you're hoping for here is get a stop, force them to have to punt, and hope that maybe they make another mistake, another 4-yard punt, maybe a block punt, maybe a botched snap of some sort. So, again, just it doesn't seem all that complex of coaching, but that's a smart move there for Monte Vista. Again, too, if you've been around sports, normally what happens in a normal year, you have some spring ball. You work out in the summer, you do 7-on-7 in the summer, then you come back and you might do some two-a-days, you do a camp. You're literally going for weeks and weeks before that first game. And then you have 9 games in the fall to get better. And if you look at this, we've had 6 days from game 1 to game 2, and you had some somewhat practices, due to COVID regulations off and on. And so this is pretty amazing. They're playing any kind of football that looks like football tonight.
Pillsbury going to roll to the right. Throws it. And there's a completion to Nagel.
So he looked like he was trying to get a little cute there and try to maybe pitch back a little hook and ladder there at the end. But good news, it didn't go badly.
We go to halftime. The score, Monte Vista Monarchs 14, Valhalla Norsemen 0. You're watching Norse Nation TV. We'll see you in the second half.
All right, we're about ready to get ready in the second half. Nate, take it away.
Kick is off. We are good with second half football. First return of the game for Monte Vista, and that's number 20. DeLon Whitley.
Well, Nate, I'm going to just hang out here for a few more minutes. I think you got it covered. I got 3 kids at home, probably driving a person nuts that's been forced to watch them. So I guess if I were to make some bold projections here, Vol can get a stop here and get some sort of passing game going. They're not out of this by any stretch, but this is a typical Monte Vista game in that they just want to wind it down, run this clock, and they're just going to limit possessions with the type of offense they run.
Good pile pushing there by Valhalla. However, I think forward progress gets them a couple of yards. Sounds good. Rolling out, that's Mika. A flag coming in late. They called that one against Monte Vista. They end up going back second and long. And a pitch to Lamonte Jenkins. He's going to get about 5 or 6 on that one. They're going to actually roll out here this time. And in the backfield, flags coming down. That is a sack. Randall Shamoon getting in there for the sack. That's 15 yards on the face mask. They run it right to the fullback. And still a huge pile. Is enough for the first down. First and 10 from the 41-yard line. for Monte Vista. Handing right back to Jenkins. You have a man down on the field. We will take a quick break. So he has walked off the field. Good to see after the injury. Second down and medium here. They hand it off to number 10 that time. Aiden Roby on that carry. Enough for a first down. Go right to the fullback that time. And again, just ground and pound right here from Monte Vista. Handoff up the middle, like Aiden Roby once again, and he is taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Third and medium here for Monte Vista. We'll see what they draw up. Probably a run play, if I had to guess. Based off of what we've seen tonight, that seems like it might be an all right bet. Or they do bring a wide receiver out towards the bottom of your screen. Tossing a towel behind everything. They do hand it right up the middle. It is stopped for a fourth down, but it'll be 4th and 1. I'd be shocked if Monte Vista doesn't go for it with another run right up the middle. Hand off to the fullback. He's got plenty for the first. Monte Vista moves the sticks once again. And he's still going. That's Lamonte Jenkins. He's in for the touchdown. The extra point is good. So 21-0 in favor of Monte Vista after the touchdown by Lamonte Jenkins on a play that I'm still quite confused by in terms of formation and what exactly transpired. About halfway through the third quarter here. Watching live on Orange Nation TV, I'm Nate Polite. For those of you just joining us, it's been a very classic Monte Vista game, just running. Lots of running the ball. Monte Vista, and they've controlled this game pretty much from the get-go. Missed opportunity on the opening drive of the game for Valhalla, but since then it's been Monte Vista in control. They're going to kick this one deep. Marcellus Childs on the return here. And he's still moving. His flags go flying. That is a taunting penalty against Eddie Villavicencio of Valhalla. And this might be a bit of a personal tangent rant to go on, but I'm not a fan of taunting penalties. I say if you're offended by something on the field, like a celebration or something like that, I feel like that's kind of soft. I don't like taunting penalties personally. I know nobody asked, but figured I'd throw in my 2 cents in that one. Pillsbury's going to drop back here, escaping the pressure and throwing down the field, and it's picked off. And flags go flying there. A false start there against Monte Vista. Hand it off to Lamonte Jenkins once more. And this time things get bottled up pretty well. This time they're going to drop back, and it's going to be a bootleg out to the left and taken down in the backfield. Bashar Newton on the tackle.
Third and 14.
Third and long. And a little bit of a personnel switch there. It looked like the refs noticed something and requested that Noble Broman be taken out of the game and Gavin Nagel in as replacement. It's going to be a pass play. Mika throws it down the field. Incomplete. Back to punt for Monte Vista. Oh, and it got blocked. And picked up by Valhalla after the blocked punt. And if you were looking for a momentum switch, there it is. Valhalla offense comes back out this time. Tommy Logan at quarterback. Bakir in motion, and flags come flying. And another, that one encroachment, but the same species, if you will, as offside. So the Norsemen get the Monarchs to jump yet again in this one. From the gun, Tommy Logan, he's going to step up and he's going to run with it. And flags coming in, it looked like. And there's that taunting call yet again. This time on Monte Vista. I still stand by my notion that taunting penalties are one of the softest things in sports, in my humble opinion, that again, nobody asked for, but here I am giving it because I've got the microphone. 1st and 10 for the Norsemen. Tommy Logan in the shotgun. He's going to hand it out to Hussein Bakir, who's got a huge running lane. With space, there he goes, across into the 20-yard line. Valhalla trying to hurry it up here. From the shotgun again. They do go hand it off right back to Hussein Bakir. And this time, for a little less of a gain. Logan from the gun, he's going to drop back to pass this time, rolling to the right, trying to evade pressure, and he's going to put his head down and he's going to run it for a solid gain there. Third down and 4. Hand it out to Hussein Bakir once again. Brings up 4th and short. Not much of a choice here but to go for it for the Norsemen here on 4th and short. This down and distance, this close to the red zone, this is the closest they've gotten since the start of the game. So it's just a question of what they're going to draw up. Let's put in some wideouts out. Logan's going to drop back, and he takes the sack on 4th and short. Monte Vista brought the pressure and got there. That's going to be a turnover on downs with 1:30 left in the third quarter. Handoff right there, flags coming in. I'm backing up half the distance to the goal there. Handoff once again. A pretty solid gain there. He'll hand off once more. Third and 7 here, so we'll see what Monte Vista comes up with. After the break, we're going to go to the fourth quarter. You're watching live on Orange Nation TV. Monte Vista Monarchs versus Valhalla Norsemen. Back for the fourth quarter. A 3rd and 7 for Monte Vista here. They're going to pitch to the right. That's Deron Whitley. With running room, and he's going up the sideline. Shaking some tackles, and he steps out of bounds. But Deron Whitley with a great gain there to get Monte Vista out of the hole. From the center once again, they hand it off once again to Deron Whitley. He gets another great gain. And they also have another player down. And once again, kind of talking about my pay grade here, but I don't quite understand how you miss a hit like that if you're a referee. They're in that dual fullback formation again. They hand it off to Lamonte Jenkins. Enough for a first down. And so they do call a penalty for that formation. 5 men in the backfield against Monte Vista. Dual fullback set in the backfield again. They hand off to Lamonte Jenkins. And he is a tough man to tackle. Clock gonna keep moving. This game fitting right into what Monte Vista wanted to do. Everything going according to plan for them. Third and short. Two fullbacks again. And it's a quarterback sweep this time as Mika keeps it. It's tackled into the cheerleaders on the other side of the field. Dual fullback set again, and they hand off to Lamonte Jenkins. Is pushing the pile. Second down. A little bit of squeeze there on the handoff. And throw down a penalty marker on that one. I think that's... Be second and long here for the Monarchs. And with two fullbacks here, we've seen Monte Vista kind of adjust to as now Jason Mika is going to drop back and he's going to go down the field, and it's hauled in at the 1. Jaden Richardson, number 2, on the reception down the field. A great throw from Jason Mika. Dual fullback set again. Hand off to Roby. And waiting for the call from the ref. He's in for the touchdown. Aiden Roby on the rushing touchdown. Kick is good. 28-0 your score. With 8:08 to play here in this one. The kickoff's going to go deep. Gavin Nagel there to return. Kind of dance around a little bit. Throw over the middle. Incomplete, and that is textbook pass interference there. Grabbing him by the neck and throwing him to the ground. So a couple of fouls there called against Monte Vista. Norseman accept roughing the passer. First and 10, fresh set of downs. Pillsbury lobs it up the sideline, and it's intercepted. DeLon Whitley gets himself one. Flag's coming down again. As Monte Vista celebrating well on their way to their first win of the year. Now we'll see what the penalties are for. Dual fullbacks once again, and they're going to pitch it to Deron Whitley. Gets out at about the 11-yard line. Hand it off to one of the fullbacks. Wrapped up and brought to the floor. Hand off to Deron Whitley. Get across the 10 there. It's enough to move the chains. Trying to figure out who got the handoff there is Monte Vista. Pretty much just about everybody on the offense. Small gain. Be second and goal. Dual fullbacks once again. Hand off to Ron Whitley. And he's in for the touchdown. Make that 34-0 in favor of the Monarchs. Pending the extra point to make it 35-0. And it's good. 35-0 your score here with just under 6 minutes left to play. That kick goes back deep. Cornthwaite will get the return. Gets that across the 20. He's still moving to the 39-yard line. Tommy Logan going to come out the quarterback this drive. Three receivers to the right bottom of your screen, and Logan's going to drop back to pass. Lofts it, incomplete. Intended for Gavin Nagel on that one. Again, Logan going to roll to the right. This time he throws down the field and incomplete again. Four receivers split out, two on each side. Tommy Logan's going to drop back to pass once again. He handed it off to Hussein Bakir on the draw play right there. Some words being shared out on the field. Not all of them favorable as Valhalla sets up the punt once more. And the snap goes through the punter's legs. He's just going to have to fall on it. So Monte Vista gets it on the 15-yard line. Looks like victory formation here for Monte Vista, so they'll kneel it down and they'll go home winners in this one. 35-0 is going to be the final score. Just be one more kneel down to do it. Just gonna wait for the clock to get inside of 40 seconds. And this last kneel down will do it. Monte Vista takes the victory, 35-0 over the Norsemen. Norsemen fall to 0-2. Next time we stream will be April 16th. It'll be the Norsemen against the El Capitan Vaqueros here at home. The final home game of the 2021 season. For our entire Orange Nation TV crew, Garrett Francisco, Jameel Armstrong, Henry Polite, John Owens, who was here earlier. This is Nate Polite signing off. Thanks for